Tonight, let us sit with something you have carried for a very long time, a feeling you have known well but may never have found the words for. Your life right now is good. The hard season has finally passed, and yet some quiet part of you still refuses to set down its guard. And instead of resting inside all that goodness, you find yourself watching the horizon, half waiting for the whole thing to break. You know this feeling intimately. The calm finally arrives, and instead of relief, a strange unease rises up to meet it. It is almost as though the peace itself has begun to frighten you, as if being this content were somehow dangerous. Because if you let yourself fully have this and fully love it, then all at once you have something precious that could be taken away. And so a small voice inside you begins to rehearse the loss, quietly, long before any loss has actually come. The researcher Brené Brown gave this experience a name. In her years of work on vulnerability, she calls it foreboding joy. It is that exact moment when happiness arrives and dread arrives right along with it. The instant of joy that turns, without your permission, into worry. She found that joy may be the most vulnerable feeling we are capable of. To feel it fully is to stand completely open, completely unguarded. And so, rather than softening into the good, we brace. We picture the accident. We imagine the phone call in the middle of the night. We dress rehearse the tragedy in advance, hoping that if only we can see it coming, it will hurt a little less when it finally arrives. As Brené Brown puts it, when we lose our tolerance for vulnerability, joy becomes foreboding. If you recognize yourself in any of this, hear one thing before we go further. There is nothing broken in you. This bracing did not begin as a flaw or a failing. It began long ago as protection. Somewhere once, the ground gave way while you were not looking. A good thing ended. A love left. The bottom fell out of an ordinary afternoon, and a younger version of you made a quiet promise, far below the level of thought. I will never be caught off guard like that again. So you learned to watch. You learned to stay ready, to keep one hand near the door even in the safest of rooms. Your body learned it too. Long after the danger had passed, it kept the engine running, kept you alert, kept you half-braced for a blow that never actually came. Those who study the nervous system, like Stephen Porges and Peter Levine, describe how a body that has known a real shock can stay braced for a very long time, still listening for threat, even in a silent, safe room. This was never weakness. This was a system that loved you enough to keep you alive. Your vigilance was simply how you kept yourself safe. It was, in its own aching and faithful way, a form of love. And underneath it all, there is a belief so quiet that you may never once have caught it in the act. The anxious mind believes that if it imagines the worst, it can somehow hold the worst away. That worry is a kind of shield, and that bracing is the thing keeping the disaster at bay. But the storm you rehearse over and over in your mind does not make the real one, if it ever comes, any softer. It only steals the calm that you actually have right now. In the end, you pay for the loss twice, once in the imagining, and then again if it ever truly arrives. Alan Watts saw the trap hidden inside this. To chase total security, he wrote, is to fight against the very nature of a life that is always moving, always changing. Alan Watts wrote that the desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing. The tighter you grip for certainty, the more uncertain you come to feel. There is no amount of bracing that will ever make life promise you it will not change. And so the guarding never ends, because the thing it is bracing against is simply life itself. Notice for a moment where the fear actually lives. It is not here in this room. It is not here in this breath. It lives in a future your mind has painted and then quietly stepped inside of. This present moment is the only place life ever actually happens. The mind can leave it in an instant, racing ahead into a tomorrow that has not arrived, and may never arrive at all in the way you fear. The shoe has not dropped. The loss has not come. In this real moment, the only one you are ever truly standing in, you are safe, and the good around you is real. So here's the turn, the quiet invitation at the heart of all this. You are allowed to trust the good now, not because you have any proof that it will last. Nothing lasts, and some part of you has always known that to be true. But because the bracing was never actually keeping the good safe, it was only ever keeping you from being here to feel it. Peace is not always the calm before a storm. Sometimes peace is simply peace. Sometimes the evening is soft because it is soft, and nothing at all is coming. The teacher Pema Chodron spent her whole life with a truth that most of us spend our lives resisting: that the ground beneath us was never truly solid, and that this is not the bad news we take it to be. In When Things Fall Apart, Pema Chodron writes that if we give up hope that insecurity and pain can be exterminated, we can find the courage to relax with the groundlessness of our situation. When you finally stop demanding that life hold perfectly still for you, you can begin to rest inside of it, moving as it moves. You do not have to brace against the current to stay afloat within it. You are allowed at last to let it carry you. So the next time the peace arrives, and the old familiar habit rises up to guard it, try something new instead. Do not push the fear away. Turn toward it, the way you would turn toward a frightened child. Ask it softly what it is truly afraid of, and then offer it your kindness. Then come back to what is actually true right now. The warmth of the room around you, the breath moving in your chest, the plain, astonishing fact that in this very moment, you are all right. Where you once practiced dread, you can begin, a little at a time, to practice gratitude instead. Let the good simply be good. You spent so many years protecting yourself from joy. You are allowed now to finally let it in. The peace you keep waiting to lose is already here, already yours. Do not spend it bracing. If these words found something in you tonight, you are warmly invited to subscribe. Stay a while, breathe easy, and let the good simply be good.